James Joyce's The Dead, the culminating story in Dubliners, presents one of modern literature's most intricate portraits of human consciousness through its protagonist, Gabriel Conroy. Unlike many of the earlier Dubliners who remained trapped in cycles of paralysis and ignorance, Gabriel occupies a unique position. He is a man on the threshold of self-awareness. Over the course of one winter evening, his seemingly ordinary experiences at a family gathering evolve into a profound psychological and spiritual revelation. Role in the narrative. Gabriel Conroy serves as both the protagonist and the focal point of consciousness in The Dead. The story follows his perspective during the annual Christmas dinner party hosted by his aunts, Kate and Julia Morcan, in early 20th century Dublin. As a nephew, husband, teacher, and journalist, Gabriel represents the educated middle class, a man secure in his social position and intellect. Yet Joyce carefully constructs the narrative to reveal how Gabriel's self-assurance masks a deep insecurity about his identity, relationships, and place in Irish society. At the party, Gabriel's interactions expose his emotional distance and social awkwardness. His conversation with Lily, the caretaker's daughter, is tinged with condescension and discomfort. His encounter with the nationalist Miss Ivers becomes a political humiliation, and his speech at dinner, though well-intentioned, betrays his detachment from genuine feeling. These moments of social unease gradually prepare the reader for the story's climactic emotional reversal, his discovery of his wife Greta's memory of a long-dead lover. The narrative, which begins in the convivial warmth of music and conversation, ends in silence, snow, and introspection. Within the structure of Dubliners, Gabriel functions as the culmination of the book's exploration of paralysis and consciousness. Each earlier story portrays characters trapped by fear, habit, or moral inertia. In The Dead, Joyce allows his protagonist to recognize this paralysis and momentarily transcend it. Gabriel's self-knowledge, though painful and incomplete, signals a glimmer of spiritual movement that the previous Dubliners never achieved. Thus, narratively, he embodies the culmination of Joyce's thematic progression from ignorance toward insight. Symbolic significance. Gabriel Conroy operates not only as a realistic character but as a symbolic figure, embodying the spiritual paralysis and potential awakening of modern Dublin. His name itself invites interpretation. Gabriel recalls the archangel, a messenger of divine revelation, while Conroy carries echoes of the Irish Conraig, meaning Hound of the King. The tension between divine message and human frailty encapsulates Gabriel's dual nature, both enlightened and lost. Throughout the story, Gabriel symbolizes the modern intellectual disconnected from authentic experience. His reliance on intellect and artifice isolates him from genuine emotion. His polished speech, academic quotations, and foreign travels become forms of self-defense against the rawness of life. In contrast, Michael Fury, young, passionate, and dead, represents the vitality and emotional courage Gabriel lacks. The opposition between the living intellectual and the dead lover crystallizes Joyce's symbolic scheme. Gabriel is spiritually dead among the living, while Michael Fury, though physically dead, embodies the living soul of passion. The final image of snow falling upon all the living and the dead deepens this symbolism. Snow, which blankets Dublin and the western countryside alike, signifies unity and transcendence. For Gabriel, the snow becomes a moment of illumination, erasing the boundaries between life and death, past and present, and self and other. His tears and his vision of the snow suggest a movement toward empathy and universality, a recognition that human existence is bound by mortality and shared vulnerability. At this moment, Gabriel achieves a kind of epiphany, a spiritual insight that unites consciousness and compassion. Symbolically, the snow transforms from a marker of coldness and death into a veil of grace. Broader implications. Gabriel's transformation at the end of The Dead carries profound implications for Joyce's broader vision of modern existence. In earlier Dubliner stories, characters such as Evelyn, Farrington, or Maria remain imprisoned by habit and fear. Gabriel, by contrast, undergoes a moment of self-recognition that transcends paralysis. His awakening, however fleeting, represents Joyce's belief in the possibility of consciousness as a form of redemption. On a philosophical level, Gabriel's crisis dramatizes the modernist theme of alienation. He is a man caught between tradition and modernity, intellect and emotion, Ireland and Europe. His detachment reflects the spiritual dislocation of the 20th century individual, educated, skeptical, and yearning for meaning in a disenchanted world. Yet Joyce's portrayal is not entirely pessimistic. Through introspection and humility, Gabriel attains a degree of self-knowledge that his predecessors in Dubliners never achieve. His tears mark not despair but awakening, the recognition of his kinship with all humanity, living and dead. Politically and culturally, Gabriel's conflict with Miss Ivors highlights the tensions of Irish identity during a period of national awakening. His embarrassment reveals how colonial subjugation extends into the psyche, producing cultural ambivalence and insecurity. Joyce's treatment is subtle. He does not condemn Gabriel's cosmopolitanism but exposes its costs. The story thus becomes a meditation on the difficulty of self-definition in a colonized and divided society. Ultimately, in the context of Dubliners as a whole, Gabriel's story serves as the collection's spiritual culmination. The earlier stories depict individuals paralyzed by fear or ignorance. The Dead resolves this motif through the lens of consciousness and compassion. Gabriel's vision of the snow falling across Ireland completes Joyce's exploration of the city's moral geography, transforming paralysis into awareness. The collection's movement, from childhood to maturity, from ignorance to insight, finds its consummation in Gabriel's moment of revelation. Conclusion. Gabriel Conroy stands as one of Joyce's most complex creations, a man of intelligence and sensitivity who must confront his own limitations to attain self-knowledge. Through his experiences at the Morecambe party and his confrontation with Greta's past, Gabriel moves from complacent self-regard to a painful awareness of love, loss, and mortality. His journey from illusion to illumination encapsulates Joyce's central themes: the paralysis of the Dublin middle class, the redemptive power of self-awareness, and the universal bond between the living and the dead.